it is affecting it in ways that people do not, if you're not working in the space, you won't really understand. But however, luckily, ESCOM and the government, they're in the process of making sure that healthcare facilities don't get load shedded, right? It's, yeah, exempting them from the schedule, load shedding schedule. So for now, I think it's hospitals, but clinics have not been loaded. But so for the clinics, for instance, that are still experiencing load shedding, they work with a system called HPRS. Basically, that system is for patient registration. It needs internet. It's a web-based system. So if a patient is not there, they can't identify the patient, they can't pull up the file, and what happens is that they open a temporal file for the patient. Now this has like a knock-on effect. So a clinician is seeing a patient whose record, whose medical history is not before the clinician. So the possibility of suboptimal care is there, right? And that patient now has a duplicate file. So there's something they call retention in care. So if it's a chronic patient, after some time they will think that other patient, the first file, that patient has stopped coming to the facility while he's still or she's still there. So that is one. Two is there's a lot of processes that need power. There's a lot of, like whether it's your laboratory test, whether it is your ventilation of patients that are unconscious, whether it is charging some equipment, like a woman in labor, you monitor it through a pathogram, whether it's ECG, you want to check the heart of a patient. So there's a whole lot of equipment that you need in the hospital. Many of them have some form of UPS inbuilt in them, but after some time, they actually just run out of power. Something that has been happening quite frequently is the issue about voltage surges when power goes off and on. So it knocks off machines. Many of these machines are extremely sensitive to variations in voltage, like the MRI scans. I don't want to name names, but there are hospitals that we have very close contact with who say, you know what, our MRI machine needs to go for servicing because it's been damaged by load shedding. Lateness to work as well is common. Like in a big metro like this, people have to either wake up early, but if you budget the same amount, length of time or duration of time you previously used to, you may end up getting late to work. Accidents are also on the increase because people are trying to move fast. So there's, whether it's, if you go to the pharmacy, for instance, the efficacy of medications depends so much on a very tightly regulated temperature range. So if the temperature keeps fluctuating, then what's going to happen is some of the medications you are issuing may actually not be as potent as you expect them to be. Things like vaccines, they need very low, some of them need very, very low temperature that is maintained by special fridges. If there's load shedding, those fridges don't maintain that, and then there will be a lot of wastage of those. So there's a lot of financial implication from load shedding that is borne by the health system. The department is spending lots more on diesel for generators, and that money was not budgeted. Nobody knew that this extent of load shedding will happen. So what happens? They divert the budget that would have been used for other things into procurement of diesel. So it's a whole lot of things, that is occasioned by this load shedding.